because you never know. You never know what little dribblings of genius may come out of this. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to bring your attention to is we're going to scroll down to where it says PDFs and tools. Oops, sorry about that. And at PDFs and tools, we're just going to click on the right arrow until we get to this book called Scripts, the script book. It's Simple Scripts by Jeffrey Combs. And I want to just go over some, I just read this today, and it is totally cool. So when you click on that, the book will open up as a PDF file. And of course, you will save this. If you have Safari, you just go to File, Export as a PDF, and it'll load right onto your desktop. And this is an incredible book. It starts with the table of contents, but I'm just going to go over some of the gems that are in here, okay, so that you really get to see and appreciate what's here. First of all, it talks about how to use scripts. We never want to use scripts word to word. We want to really put it in our own voice. So Jeffrey will talk about that. He also defines prospecting, and I want to go over this definition. Prospecting is a sorting process. It's the part of the business where you are interviewing people to find out, are they interested or committed? Are they curious or serious? Are they a prospect or a suspect? Prospect is not trying to convince someone to get started in a business or to use your company's products. I want to read that over again for you, okay? Prospect is not trying to convince somebody to get started in a business or to use your company's products. It's not telling and it's not selling. You are qualifying people for your time by the questions you ask and the responses they give. If they are not interested, they don't qualify for your time. Disengage diplomatically from the conversation and move on to the next call. You are not in the convincing business. Very important. This is one of the best definitions I've ever seen of prospecting. Okay? That when we prospect, if you have this attitude that we are simply trying to qualify people and not trying to convince them, we're not at the stage of convincing them about anything. We want to really determine whether they're worth our time to even show anything to. So based on that premise, this whole book is based on. It talks about relationship building. And I think this is something that Emily talked about. Form. If I remember, Emily gave a great talk that when you do build a relationship, you remember these words, form. You get an interest in their family, their occupation, what do they love to do, and the message is you tailor your message to offer solutions to the problems or challenges that have come out in those. So I'm not going to go too deep in this because the book is there for you. I just want to outline some of the really, really, really cool things. The language, we had Denise give a great, spectacular talk on how to identify the kind of people you're talking to and what language you use for very particular people and how you reframe things in relationship to that. So you want to look at that for that, and it gives great examples here. When you read these examples, you really get a sense of how valuable this is. Now, this is cool. If you happen to have an 800 number in a recording, this talks about how you can leave that message. Now, you know what's cool about that? This could very well be an email address that you send out. This could very well be a message that you create as a form letter and send out to somebody who maybe has reached out to you on some level, So it doesn't necessarily have to be an 800 number. It could easily be an email script that you would add. It's just brilliant the way it was written. Here is a particular mompreneur voicemail that was left. So it gives you kind of how to talk about, an opportunity that you're offering to moms who want to have the ability to work from home. If we scroll a little bit further, how do you leave a message? When you call somebody, what's the best way to leave a message that's going to be effective? Guys, this script, this book was actually for free. Jeffrey gave this away, and it's just so priceless when you go over these things. The callback number, how you leave a message when you're calling back and answering somebody's questions. Online advertisement. This is beautiful. You could do this through, again, an email, or if you have a website that you have, or if you're using social media, how the best way to have online advertising, which will help. We scroll down a little bit more. Here are the actual scripts. And he goes over each script. And each of these scripts, again, could be, gosh, any way that you call people, you could use these scripts. And again, you personalize them to make them your own voice. You don't want to read word for these. It's going to sound phony. And it's not going to really put the message or the power across. How to approach your warm market. You know, what script you use for your warm market. It's all in there. Referral contact script. You know, this is real. I love this one because, you know, when you sign someone up, the most valuable asset that you can get as soon as possible from your first sign up is their list. Their list of names of people that they know and their willingness to reach out to their people and let them know that they have a friend that might contact them. Referral. So, you know, you will never run out of leads if you know how to sign up 1 or 2 people and get a whole mailing list from them. You'll never run out of leads just by signing 1 or 2 people up. And those 2 people that give you their 100-name list, they may even drop out of the business, but they've left you enough of a connection with their prospects and their leads for you to just pick up where they left off. So referral contact scripts are very important when you are calling those people out of the blue and letting them know that they've been referred. How many times have you had a business card? How many times do you go to a shopping mall and you see a business card for somebody that's offering to walk dogs, or somebody that's offering to babysit, or somebody that, you know, wants to give tutoring lessons? These are beautiful people that are looking to make some money on the side. I always grab those cards when I'm at a supermarket of people that are offering services, especially like some of the ones I've mentioned. And I will call those people because I already know that they're looking to make some extra income at home. So there's a script for a business card. Network marketing events. How many events do you go to? What would be the script that you would use to meet somebody at an event and kind of get to know them? And what would be the script that you would use to get them interested? The interviewing process. This is like priceless now when you actually go into the interview and begin to actually qualify them. Once you've made contact with them, you're qualifying them. Where we make our mistake is we try to sell our company or we try to sell our products. We should be qualifying them, which means your conversation should be primarily questions and never answers. Okay? If you find that you are talking with a prospect and giving out information, you are losing them right away. But if you are asking questions to see whether they qualify for your time and get in the habit of doing that, you will see that you will become very systematic at doing this, and you will save a lot of time and a lot of headache by just learning how to ask questions. And Jeffrey is just brilliant at how he does it. I've actually heard him on some live calls that he does, and he's actually he's got some available. I don't know if I can give you a reference later, but you can actually hear him. He just does live calls right on, and we overhear him like a silent third party, how he connects with people. There's another great section that I really loved. Oh, here, can be adapted for Facebook, LinkedIn. So he gives a whole script on how to use Facebook, LinkedIn, and Craigslist even. And you have to know that Craigslist is it's very fussy about network marketers. A whole beautiful section on objections, neutralizing objections. When prospects interrupts you, pyramid objection. How many of us hear about the pyramid objection? Just the way he handled it. It's just, guys, this is priceless. And he always asks questions. This costs too much, the objection. Or I need to think about it, objection. Or how much money have you made, objection. How many times do we get that? So these are all here, brilliantly written out. This, again, you can get this at the successwithoutfacesite.com, right at the bottom. And here, I love this, the prospecting list memory jogger. Again, look how he asked the question. You know, when I've seen list memory joggers, I've only seen statements. The person that you went to high school with, the person is the person that. He actually makes you ask these questions. Who owns their own business? Who enjoys being around? In other words, this gets your mind thinking in the right track of how to build your list so that you get, and of course you got a little, claim at the end for a clinic that he's teaching. I would stay away from that only because, and I'll tell you why, only because Jeffrey occasionally lets his network marketing company slip in there. And I just don't think you need that kind of distraction. So he gives a lot of information. Let me just show you one other thing with Success with Alpha. I also love his recordings. So if you go to the podcast right here by Jeffrey Combs and press those, I grab a lot of them. And they're all free. I've actually edited them. I edit them all so that when you listen to them, I've cut out about nearly 45 minutes of his promotions and just giving you the meat and potatoes of his lecture. They're all chest pressed. They give you the breakdown of what he's going to talk about. So that is the, again, scrolling down to the bottom. It's going to be under PDFs and tools, and it's going to be scripts. Okay, simple scripts. Now, having said that, I'm going to tell you what I use in order to do my prospecting, because you have to have some kind of organization. And I know Mary Rowe used Pipeline, and I also used to use Insightly. But you know what? I want to be able to use something that everybody can use right off the bat, and I love Trello. Trello is free. It's cheap, and what you do is you create these boards. That's not the board I want, is it? Nope. Okay, hold on a second. We're going to go back here because I created another account. So log in. Let me just create. There we go. Hold on a second. Okay. That should do it. Hopefully, if it doesn't, let me just make sure. Nope, that's it. Give me a second, guys. I just want to make sure I can log in. Yep, okay. So I created these boards. You create them very easily. This is my prospecting board. And you see I put all my prospecting activated. In other words, I have qualified these people. Well, I haven't really qualified them yet. And I might put here follow-up 1. So I might here put, I'm going to retitle this. I'll put qualification. I want to just show you how easy it is to change. So I might have a list here of people I have activated. What I mean by an activated is somebody who's contacted me or I've contacted them about Alpha on any level. Could have been the word or not anything really strong, but I want to make sure that they're on my radar. And the beautiful thing is I can take these and move them from slot to slot. Qualification 1, follow-up 2, and completed and sorted. I might sort them and create another. So what I love about this is, first of all, it's free. Second of all, it allows me to really see every day how my activity is working through this slot. And I also have, I go back to my board, I also have a to-do list that I created. And that's just from my own work. You know, when I list all the things on my to-do list that have nothing to do with Alpha. It's just my life. And so when I wake up in the morning, I go to my to-do list, make sure my things are done. And then when it's time for my prospecting, I'll go to my prospecting list and I'll start my prospecting moving along. So I would highly, highly recommend, if you do not have anything like that, like Mary does with Pipeline, Trello is priceless. It's a really groovy application, and it's free. That's the nice thing. Now, the next thing I do, I'm going to show you this. The next thing I do is I created stats. In other words, I make sure that every time I'm working on my Trello account, let's say I work here. Let me go back to Trello here. Hold on a second, guys. Usually I have this more organized, but I'm running around here. Let's see, I have a special site that links me to all of my names. So there's my Trello account. And let's say that I get a hold of Monique. And I've done the first qualification. She's interested for the business. And incidentally, when I open up Monique, I'm going to edit that label. I can make notes about it. In other words, I'll be able to open up Monique and I can write comments. I can write when I met her. All the information can be saved. It's not just a name. I can edit the whole description about Monique. So I have a running record right off the bat. Just want you to know that. Now let's say finish with Monique. Then I go right to my, stats. Let me get those stats again. There we go. Oops. There we go. And I'm going to say, okay, I made a personal contact made. So I'm going to put 1. Oh, actually, I followed up. 1. And as you shall see, that 1 is going to start totaling itself for the week and way over here for the month. Now, does anybody recognize anything familiar about these weeks? Look at these weeks. Anybody notice anything fishy about those weeks? Those weeks are the same weeks in your back office. They tell you, if you look at your back office, let me bring it to your back office really quickly. You look at your back office, you're going to see that you are paid every single week based on your new signups and your carryover. So let me get to this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So if we go to the back office, and this is kind of a clone back office that I have here, you'll look at the bottom here, and you'll see that here's a person, look at this, here's a person that has no people that they've signed up, but they're active. Why are they active? Because I let them know that as long as they're active, they're going to accumulate that carryover volume. So this person has a carryover volume of about $6,000, $7,000 right there. See that? So they know as long as they keep active, they keep accumulating that volume. So, one of the first things I do when I sign up anybody, I let them know that, guy, you may not jump into this right away, but as long as you keep active every month, you're not going to lose people's volume that I put on you. Did you guys all know that? Pretty cool, right? And you'll see here for the period, each of these weeks represent a Sunday through Saturday. See, Sunday through Saturday, Sunday through Saturday. And every time if this person were to start to drum up some business on the right side, they'd get paid immediately because they have a large carryover volume that's accumulating. So if I go back to my stats, my statistics, which are right here, you will see that as I fill in my daily, and here's what I also recommend. When I don't do anything, I put a big fat 0 there. I want to make sure that I am at least aware and accounting that I'm doing 0, nothing. But I love it when I have these numbers accumulating, little by little, maybe a 0 on a Friday, and they just total up. You can see it. This totals up immediately here. Now, if any of you would like a copy of this, you have to email me right now in the chat area, and I will send you a copy of this so that you can have this in your Gmail account and you can start keeping track of your day-to-day activity. And because it automatically adds itself up. And I highly recommend that when you do nothing for the day, that you come back here and you fill in those zeros, guys. Believe me, it's going to help you. It's going to help you be aware. It's much better to be aware that you're doing nothing with your Alpha business than it is to be unaware that you're not doing anything with your Alpha business. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, it's not about judging, it's just being aware, so that when you see people going to Mexico, like Mary and I, or when you see people that are having a little bit more traction, the only thing different between yourselves and Mary and I or other people that are broadcasting their results is that they're filling in numbers here. And I'm sure Mary does it too. I'm sure when Mary has a 0 day, she puts in a 0. I'm not saying she uses this, but I'm sure that Mary says to herself, you know what, today I did absolutely nothing with my Alpha business, and it's okay, but I know I didn't do anything. So it's very important that you use this. I have found for me that this holds me accountable. It keeps me in the game just by being aware. So those are the 3 tools that I wanted to show you today. And if you would like a copy of this, again, you want to email me, because what I will do is I will send you a copy of the Google Doc. When you get that copy, you're going to make a copy. Well, I'll go by your email. I'll send you a personalized one for your email, and then you'll be able to change it. When you get yours, do not touch any of the gray areas, because the gray areas are all formulated. So when I put in a 1, you'll see they go right across the board. 1 enters on the week there, doesn't do anything here, but it subtotals on the month here. You see that? So if I do 2, 4 here, it totals 4 here, but it subtotals on the month. Get it? See how that works? So you never want to touch the grays. You just want to fill in the whites. Okay, guys. How was that for you? Good? Did that help you? Did you get something out of this tonight?
Very much.
Very
Excellent.
helpful.
Great.
Great. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask or things that you'd like to talk about with your business that I can help with?
What fabulous resources. Thank
Aren't they
you.
amazing? And they're all on, actually, I'm going to put the Trello link on there, but you can go to Trello.com, Trello.com, but I'm going to put that in the PDFs and tools box tonight so that you have that. In the meantime, I will send, I have Denise, I have Marie, and I have Tiffany. I will be sending, and I have Mary Rowe. Good, all right. And I will send you a copy of the stats. And every month, make sure you keep a copy of it, because every month you will change the dates and you'll do a whole fresh new copy. And Jean, and here's my promise to you. I'm going to promise you something really cool. Sorry about that. Hold on. My promise to you is this, that if you religiously start to keep your statistics, I call them statistics. You might have heard me say stats, because if I go back for a second to the screen that I've showed you, let's stay here so that we make sure. If I go, let's say I had a good week here, and a fabulous week here with 10, and a 0 week here, and 1, let's say here. And don't forget, that's just one topic. That's just number of new leads put in my master list. So that tells me that this week I added 20 names in my master list. Now that month, next time, might be 10 names. The following month might be 30 names. So it's like statistics. If you're doing your job right, guys, that number should be increasing all the time. You should be getting new leads in your master list. And that master list can include the people that you sign into your organization, their master list. So if I get 2 signups and I get them to do 10 names apiece, I just got 20 new names in my master list. Okay? Now, being in the master list doesn't tell me that I did anything in motion. So you'll see that it's one thing to have names, but it's another thing to put anybody in motion. So if I have 20 names, but I have 0 people in motion, what does that tell you? See, it tells you where your stuck flow is. It also tells you at a glance, let's say I have 10 people in motion. Let's say I have 5 letters out. And let's go all the way down to new PSDs. And let's say I have 1. So look at this, look at the stats. I had 20 people on my list. I only reached out to 10. I sent out 5 emails. 1 person signed up. Now, I don't know. I don't know why only one person would sign up. But if I look here, I could see clearly, well, oh yeah, I see. I had 20 people on the list, but I only contacted 10. I only sent 5 emails out. That's why I only had 1 sign up. See, this begins to give me information on what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. You get it? It begins to tell you. So if you look to the left, all those names from 3 to 12 are done in a sequence of actions that follow one another. So you might have 20, 10, 9, 8, 0, 0, 0, 1. And you'll know right away when you see those zeros where you have to improve your action, your skill. You see why this is so brilliant? It begins to give you an action formula. You begin to, there's so many things happening in our lives. Sometimes we can't remember what the heck we did, And here's the other cool thing. You see that you had prospects in motion, 10. Well, this doesn't tell you who those 10 were unless you go right here. Oh, yeah, there they are. Christopher, oh, that's right. Monique, yeah, I got it. In other words, you got your Trello that's reminding you who those guys are, and you're keeping them going. You get it? As you get good with this, you might get something more sophisticated like pipeline, which might keep more of a record. But for now, anybody can start with this. When you start with your downline, you can teach them this immediately, and at no cost. And what I also like about these weeks that you're putting in, it immediately gets your downline to look at the weeks of their placement team volume summary right there. There's the weeks. See, it gets them. See, I really believe that 80% of the people that I bring in will probably never do anything with Alpha but order products, right? So I'm going to assume that everybody that comes in, I've got to give them enough traction to at least order every month. And there's nothing greater than an incentive to say, you're not going to lose money if you keep active. And guess what? That's always my first action step. Get on auto ship on your second month so you don't lose money because people are going to go under you and your volume is going to accumulate and you're going to lose that money every week that you're not active. Then they're going to say to me, well, okay, but what's the next goal? Great. Sign one person here and one person here, and now you're going to get paid. And that active that you had paid, that's going to pay for it. Now you're getting your products free every month. You see, I'm giving them little goals to stay in the game. You get it? That's, to me, where it starts. Once they've got that, and once they sign up, one person on their left and one person on their right, that forces me to explain to them their placement tree. I'm going to fill up this side, you're going to fill up this side, and from that point forward, you will never have to talk about placement tree again. You will now talk about getting your 3 plus 3, and then getting your 9, getting your 27. You now focus on the uni level. You get it, guys? So that's how you set the stage. That's how you get your people started. Please, guys, do not get complicated when you bring somebody on. Do not get complicated by having them read a manual or read anything for that matter. Get them immediately into an action and show them why that action is vital. And remember, 80% of the check that you get every month will be people in your organization who do nothing more than order the product every single month. That's the truth. The 20% will be your 4 aces. You're going to be doing that all the time until you get your 4 aces. All right, guys. I hope this has been...
Anton, question.
Yes, sir.
On your list there, you say number of prospects in motion. What do you mean by prospects in motion?
Okay. So I have a master list. So I have nothing more than a bunch of names. So I'm not going to call them prospects. I'm just going to call them leads. See, so in my mind, I have to psychologically say, they're just possibilities I don't even know okay? The only way I'm going to find out is I'm going to take one of those leads and I'm either going to call them up or contact them and I'm going to put them in motion. Hey, man, How you doing? Listen, do you keep your options open for making some money on the side? Great, man. How would you like me to? I'd like to send you something. You have some time and you can look at it. I'd love to run this by you, man. I think it'd be good for you. You see, now it's a prospect in motion. You get it? So the minute.
So you contacted them in some way.
Or they contacted me.
Okay.
Yeah, they may have contacted me and say, hey, you know, I heard you're into this mushroom thing. Can you give me more information? Bingo. That's a prospect in motion. Okay. See how that works? So,
thank you.
Get it? Guys, keep it simple. You know, what I showed you today, I hope will give you the most simplest way to do this. I don't think it's complicated. There are complications that we can get into a lot later, but here's the point. If you keep this simple, you're going to get your 80% eventually of the people that are just going to order, probably for the rest of your life. And that's where the majority of your check is going to be. That's true in any network marketing company. Doesn't matter what network marketing it is. 80% of a person's check is always people who never go on to do anything but stay connected to those products. That's the truth. So it only stands to reason that if you can set the seeds to get that alone in the beginning, and Alpha has created a beautiful incentive to do that by just saying, stay active and you don't lose any carryover, that even though you're not doing the business, I'm doing it and I'm putting money in your bank account as a reserve should you ever want to do it. You know, I got the second guy I signed up never left the company. He never signed up, and he signed up a few people, and then he got into another job and something else. But he's got to have at least maybe $50,000 worth of carryover volume there, and he will never leave. He will never leave because he's smart. He's saying, I may come back to this, and man, I have money ready to go. You get it? I've got a potential. He was actually a 20% guy. So I've got a potential of $10,000 just waiting for me. Get it? That's how you keep it. Guys, I hope this has helped. I think we're going to keep this recording. Pass the word about this. Let your downline know this was a valuable talk for them to get started. And this Wednesday coming, we are featuring our Samantha, our Sammy. She will be doing a great training this Wednesday, and I'll be announcing that later tonight, if not tomorrow. Guys, take care. Have a beautiful evening. I'm going to copy these emails to make sure I get this all to you. And